Oh, really? I haven't seen it yet, Brian. The video got lost in all the food pics and grandkid posts. There's just too much stuff on Facebook. I don't want to buy protein shakes for my cousin's kid or watch a cat playing piano. Facebook wasn't made for collecting, that's for sure.
Well, Chris, now there's a better way to break.
Well, spit it out. What does that mean?
There's a new platform designed specifically for breaking, created by the pros at Real Sports Cards. It's called Uncommon. When you use Uncommon, you won't see any of the Facebook clutter. You can tune in to a current break in progress, see what's dropping next, browse your favorite card categories, and easily find what you're looking for.
That looks easy as pie. How do I join a break?
You simply click, and your spot is on hold. No more constantly refreshing and commenting to claim teams. Then it safely and securely charges your account. A notification will tell you when the break is about to start, and a live chat lets you cheer each other on.
Well, this is a walk in the park compared to Facebook.
Yep, sure is.
Can I start now?
Absolutely. Visit uncommonapp.com today for a better way to break.
Where has this been all these years? I think I might delete my Facebook now.
What's happening, folks? I get to do this with Titus this time instead of Amble. What do you guys think about that?
Upgrade.
Upgrade. It is time for Friday Q&A. Time for Friday Q&A. We are ready to rock and roll and dig in to our second test of the drafted teams break, and then dig into some questions, industry questions, business questions, you name it. There's been a couple of things happening in the industry this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of interesting to chat about. So say hello, drop a comment in the chat. Let us know that you're here and hanging out.
Definitely gonna be easier on the ears today, for sure.
Seriously. Oh man, I have to tell Emil every time to stop yelling.
Well, like the microphone's right next to you.
The microphone is right there, and like my eardrums are bursting because he's yelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's trying to yell at people through the monitor.
Oh, everybody in the store can hear him.
If
that's his goal, it's working.
It's bonkers. I don't understand. Like, I'm naturally loud, but he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Everybody, happy to see you."
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. So this is going to be a little more chill of a Q&A session with Titus, the Chill Master.
Could be a good day.
I'm just leaning back. See what happens? I get smaller. I get smaller when I lean back, and Titus looks huge. But if I now look how
Science.
This is more appropriately sized right here. Nice.
I'm gonna fix your chair. Yeah, your chair's going away.
What's wrong with my chair?
I don't know.
Whoosh. So, appreciate everybody who jumped in out of the gates here to test the revised and updated and enhanced version of the drafted teams break. We were able to check off a number of the things on the list that we had feedback on from people. And so hopefully you guys that tried it last time and tried it this time felt like there was a little bit of progress. We were able to tweak a couple of things. One of the big ones that we tackled was now each time you make a move, each time you move a team, it saves your progress. So instead of just simply relying on the lock button, we're saving that progress every time you move a team. And one of the couple reasons for that, one, if for some reason something happens and you navigate away or come back or anything like that, your progress is saved. If it inadvertently refreshes, your progress is saved. It doesn't start over like it did before. If you're still playing with it when the timer expires, it locks in where you were at rather than reverting all the way back to the beginning. So there's a handful of advantages for the incremental save, and the great part was that was somebody's idea.
Yeah, we didn't think about that before.
Yeah, that was somebody's idea from the last time we did this. So it's always great to have you guys partnering with us to test these features so that we can get your ideas, your experience. Ultimately, we want to design it so that it's good for you guys. And I think we took some steps in the right direction there. So, yeah, Chris, Emil got a lot better looking this time for Q&A. So,
Taller.
so Emil took off for the weekend. Emil decided to fly out to Montana, just a last minute, like, hey, I'm going to go to Montana. For those of you who are in Minnesota, you know this, but everybody else, like, we've gotten like 0 snow this winter. So he decided to go get some snowboarding in for the weekend. So that's why he's not here for Q&A. But really, like, it's probably a good idea to have a variety of people come in and hang out for the Q&A. So this probably isn't the last time Titus will do it with me.
Yeah.
And then maybe Titus and Emil will do it together sometime if you can stand that.
After we look at the viewership numbers, I think we're going to have to make a change.
Right. Exactly. Yes, we will do a second one. So last time we were live, we dropped a second one to do a test on. We'll do that as well. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the results. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So again, your experience should be check out the same way that you check out a random team and then get prompted to put the teams in order of your desired draft order. And then you can, when you're done, you can lock those in. Otherwise, you've got 15 minutes. That's going to put you into a draft order. Then we take the list of participants in the order that they bought spots. We copy that into random.org. We do a random just like when we assign random teams. And that determines the draft order, which then gets put in on our back end so that it can then auto draft from all of the draft orders that people submitted. So ultimately, the idea of this is that it should be a better result than a random team break just about every time, as people are getting teams that they prefer over just pure random selections.
Yeah. And even if you prefer just a pure random, you're still going to do better because people are going to move teams up.
Right.
So bigger teams are going to fall down in the draft order.
Right. Anytime somebody moves a PC team or a team that they prefer above other teams that are more valuable than them, it actually increases the value of the teams that fall to the lower spots.
Yeah.
So it really should be better for everyone. And so we built it out. You guys can see it here. This is what it looks like on your end afterwards. You see who gets the first pick, what team did they get, and what choice it was for them, right? And here we got, the first 6 people got their first choice of teams.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is pretty awesome. The green arrow with the number is the differential. So if you got the 6th pick, but you got your first choice, that's a +5 differential. Yeah. So it shows, it's kind of an indicator how much better than a pure random did you do.
Or I like to look at it as just how many people improved on what what they would have normally gotten
Right.
at that selection.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at this, the first pick is never going to have a positive differential because the first pick's always going to get their first choice, right? But the just about every other team, in fact, there's like really, really, really rare instance where somebody's not going to have a positive differential, and that is if the 30th pick
And
gets
everybody left
get
the
and
default,
and
yeah.
nobody raised the 30th team
Yeah.
out of the 30th spot, right? Otherwise, everybody's going to get a differential. And we've got a little contest here, so everybody who participated in the test gets $5 break credit. But we're looking for the biggest differential is going to get $50 credit today. I see a lot of 1s, 2s, 4s, 5s. There's 9, 13, 17, 18, 20.
Got his number 1 pick.
Wow. So, yeah, in the 21st spot, Big Tom's Way got their first choice of the Mets with a plus 20 differential. But the biggest is Jake's Hobbies. Jake's Hobbies, let's see, his 28th spot got his second pick with a 26 differential. So that is going to earn you $50 break credit. So Terry Ryan fan just jumped in and said, what's the default ranking based on? The default ranking is pick your team value. So ultimately, if you don't want to move the teams around, you're still going to get the best available team from a pick your team value perspective at your draft pick. So that's why it's never worse than a random team.
Yeah, so if you don't touch it at all, it's going to function in the same manner as a random team break, but you're going to do better because people are moving teams.
Correct. At the very worst, you're going to get the most, the value team that was in that spot.
Yeah.
So,
Can we
awesome.
just talk about the fact that nobody wanted the Guardians?
Nobody wanted the Guardians. I mean, except for Jake, who obviously is an Amel homer. Are Jake and Amel best friends?
You might have to take that LPMN off his.
Man, Guardians. Psh, psh. Yeah, so let's see what the worst anyone did was.
Okay.
Right? Like so the lowest of their choices. It might be the 30th spot.
Yeah.
So the 30th spot with the last pick of the draft got their 20th choice, and that was a +7 differential for them, and that was the worst anyone did was their 23rd choice in the draft.
Steve, make a note. He got his 23rd choice.
Oh, it says 23rd.
That's funny. I got that one like the second is.
Yeah,
Right?
first is right. All of them are right except for the 23rd. That's funny.
That's really
funny. Awesome. So I just saw that you guys were giving Steve a little bit of feedback on your experience. Why don't before we do round 2, why don't you go ahead and give us any more feedback that you guys have? I saw one piece of feedback was it's still kind of difficult to scroll from a team all the way from the bottom to all the way from the top. That's something that we're working on. It was a little trickier than we thought. It's also not a normal use case. So I know you guys are trying to kind of gamify the system right now to get highest differential, but it's not a normal use case that somebody's going to take the worst spot and move it all the way up to the top, or even more than halfway up the top, right?
Yeah.
So we'll keep working on that one. That one may not be one that delays our launch of the feature. It may just have to be an incremental improvement after we launch the feature.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hopefully people felt the scrolling and moving the teams around was easier than before. So let's see, it was Andy Bishop's Skunk Show said he thought the scrolling was tremendously better than the last test.
Did you see Dallas's question on Facebook?
Let's see. How much percentage wise is the chance likely to get your team? So it's really relative to how you move your team, right? So I'll give you an example. Here's the example. If you're a Mets fan and the Mets are the 15th most valuable team, and you move them up 10 spaces to number 5, and no one has them above 5, then you've moved them 10 spaces up out of 30. You're actually 33% more likely to get the Mets if you don't get the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all statistics based on how far up you move them, how do other people move them.
Yeah. But yeah, theoretically, if you're in a normal random, you have a 1 in 30 chance at getting your team. So you got, 3% chance. If everybody keeps their rankings the same, then every spot you move them up is going to give you another 3% chance at getting them. So now if you have the 15th ranked team and you moved them up to 14, if you draft 14 or 15, you should get them.
Right.
You move up to 13, you should get them 13, 14, or 15 if that's your draft spot.
Right.
So again, that's if everybody else keeps them at the same spot, which they're not always going to keep them at the same spot.
Right.
But yeah, theoretically, every spot you move them up, you're going to, be adding a couple percentage points to your chances of getting them. So, I mean, for my opinion, the best use case of it is that, in a normal random, you're going to get a top 10 team a third of the time, right? And then you're going to get your PC team if they're below that 3% of the time. Now you can get a top third team a third of the time, and then you can get your PC team a third of the time or something. So now you have 2/3 of the time where you're either getting a top team or you're getting your team,
Right.
which I think is going to tremendously improve people's experiences.
And depending on your team, right?
Yeah, you could get
a top 10 team a third of the time and your favorite team 2/3 of the time, almost always, right?
Yeah, if you're a Guardians fan.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So Josh has had an idea that he shared. We actually thought of this idea too, Josh, which was for people watching on Facebook and YouTube. He would like to be able to save rankings and maybe save multiple different rankings. The reason we didn't do that out of the gates, Josh, is because we decided there were probably way more versions than we initially thought. So Josh mentioned you could have like a different list that you save for high-end mixers versus mid-level breaks or something. But one of the additional variables are you'd have to have a different list for 2023 rookies, a different list for 2024 rookies, because you got Diamondbacks in 23 or Reds in 24. You have different lists for Bowman versus Tops. There are instances where players aren't on checklists on certain products. So, and then you have to do that for every sport. And so ultimately, we just were like, holy cow, now we're talking about saving an epic amount of lists. So maybe that's something we can revisit in the future if we launch this thing and it's a little out of hand. But it changes so much from product to product and break to break and checklist to checklist and sport to sport, obviously.
And that's why we decided to default to the PYT values. Is I think in an actual break, people aren't going to be moving that many teams around significant amounts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you guys are obviously doing the extreme amount of moving because you're trying to get a high differential, but that's not the normal use case. It's great for us to do that because we want to test the limits and the extremes and see if we can break it and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But in practical use, most people are going to be moving 1 to 5 teams, or even just one team. I can see the majority of people are often just moving their PC team or a couple of their PC teams up to the 5, 6, 7 type slot. So you're not going to be moving 20 teams all over the place in normal use.
So yeah, like I just pulled up the Series 1 PYT prices, like just to give you an actual example. So like if I'm buying a spot in the Series 1 drafted teams,
And you're a Twins fan.
and I'm a Twins fan, the other thing that I think people are going to be changing is like looking at the prices. We got two $99 teams, we got three $79 teams. So like for me, I would rather have Rangers than Angels, like just going after the rookie chase.
You'd rather chase
Even though
Evan Carter than Ohtani even, and somebody else might have it the other way around.
So even though they're the same price, I'm going to move Rangers up ahead of Angels. And then like for the $79 teams, I'd rather have Orioles than Braves or Mariners that are the same price. I'm going to move them up. And then after that, I'm probably moving Twins like up. They're
$29. I mean, are you putting those up there at like the top of the $49 list?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm moving Twins up from being the 29th ranked team, just based off of PYT value, and then also it's alphabetical for the teams that are the same price. I'm probably moving them up ahead of the $49.
Yeah, so you've got them now right after the Red Sox, and that's probably like roughly spot 12.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11.
11.
So you'd be moving the Twins from 29 to 11, which basically means that if I don't get the Reds that are valued at 189 to the Red Sox that are valued at 59, I'd rather have my $29 Twins.
Yeah. But the wrench in it is that we do have a lot of Twins fans. So that will make it tougher.
Yeah. So you get to start ranking your spots, your draft order, immediately after you process the payment for the spot on there. So you check it out just like a random team break, Chris, and then it takes you to a page which prompts you to put the stuff in order, and at that time you have 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes to complete your order.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Going back up to Dan was saying that he's excited for these, but he's not sure that we'll see as many for hockey or soccer. I think these are perfect for, like you were saying, with Bedard and Messi. So, like, in the MLS randoms we've been doing, obviously everybody's chasing the Miami spot. But, like, for me, like, if I'm not getting Miami, I'd probably rather just have Minnesota United, even though they're, like, a $19 team. So I think we got a lot of people that would just take their local team if they're not getting Messi. So
yeah, I mean, the other thought I had is, let's say a normal random, or the drafted team's break is $99.
Mm-hmm.
And by PC team in the pick your team is $69 or $79.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay $20 to $30 extra dollars for a shot at a top 4 or 5 team with my team as the fallback every time.
Yeah.
Like now I can like, let's say I'm a Cowboys fan, right? And I can pay $30 more for a drafted team break. I'll move my Cowboys up to 4 or 5, but I now for $20-$30 I can still chase CJ Stroud and the big rookies. And it's kind of an interesting way to do that even against a PYT spot.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Don't hit Michael's maybe here.
Michael Camp on Facebook says, do you only have the 15 minutes after checkout to make your draft? Yes, you do only have the 15 minutes after checkout to make your draft. One thing we've talked about doing is if you hit the lock button, let's say you get your stuff done in 5 minutes and you hit lock, you can't go back. One of the things we've talked about is whether or not we could make it so you could go back and edit as long as you're within your original 15-minute window.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thought that we had. So that would allow people, if you locked it and you're like, ooh, man, maybe I would like to make a change, and you still have time on the counter, you could go back and move them around.
Yeah.
So that's something we've considered. We've considered, since we have autosave, whether or not it actually needs to ever lock.
Yeah.
Right? Because technically, if it's auto-saving each time you move something, then do you need to lock at all? I still think you don't want to accidentally move something around that you didn't intend to, so locking kind of prevents that a little bit.
Team Brian recommends lock. He's the elevator expert, so he's used to moving things up and down.
Right. Yeah, right. Awesome. Any other feedback or thoughts on the on this? Should we do another one?
We could do another one.
What do you guys think? You ready to do another one? Let's go ahead. We'll build out another one here.
Should I just do?
Yeah, you can just get rid of that and just do number 2.
Leave all this stuff. $9:45. Give him 3 minutes.
Yeah, 9:45 is going to drop. We're going to stay live here, and then we'll do the random while we're live here.
All right. Should we good?
Yep, let her rip. All right, it's dropping in 2 minutes. I love Titus and Amel. I don't even like to read that. Reading that username out loud makes me.
I'm shocked that he hasn't edited it to take the end of that off.
He asked, will this mean we see more randoms than PYT? You know what we're going to do? We're going to respond to you guys. If you guys are filling these better, then we'll fill more of these. If you fill these way better than random teams, I mean, I could see this eventually potentially completely replacing random teams breaks just because I feel like the outcome is better almost every time, if not every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the easy thing to confirm is that we will be doing probably more drafted teams than we have been doing of random teams. Just based on how many random teams we've been doing.
Yeah,
recently.
I think historically, I mean, or lately, random teams haven't been filling quite as well. Like, we're filling pick your teams better than random teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think this definitely is going to increase the number of
for sure
random style breaks that we do because we've tweaked it with this drafted team format.
Yeah, because I think right now a lot of people just stick to pick your team because they know what team they want, and the random's not worth it for them to try to chase the big rookie.
The big team, right?
But in this format, you have such a better chance at still getting your team if you don't get the big rookie teams.
Right.
That it is going to be worth it for people.
Yep.
All right, 30
seconds to drop. Oh, we're still doing the $50 break credit for the highest differential.
I might have to go grab a spot. You're supposed to do the countdown. All right, so that one is live now. Go ahead and grab a spot, and then as soon as that one is all full and you have your selections locked, we'll or are we gonna try testing it before running the random before?
Oh, well, yeah, because we're not gonna put a live in there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
We don't need to put a live in this test one, so we'll just do it here in part of this video.
But yeah, the other thing was randoming it before people.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Steve, this was a question for you. On the back end, do we know if we have to wait until all the spots are locked to random the draft order, or can we random the draft order and put it in as soon as the break is full, and then it'll auto draft once the last person saves or locks their team, their list? So that's a question for Steve, and probably something that we can test offline later.
Yeah, and not that it's a big deal in the future. worst case scenario, you're waiting 15 minutes after the break fills to random it.
Yeah, but
if you can random it ahead of time,
if
people get to
you're
see their teams
available,
faster.
if you're available to run the random and you can just run the random because it's full and drop it in there.
Yeah, then people get their teams as soon as possible.
Right.
If it just auto drafts as soon as the last one locks.
Yep.
So. Yeah, we'll stay in this chat, Anthony. There you go. Do you think Tops will bring back Taco Fractor?
Oh, I don't know. Also, Steve says it'll auto draft right away when you randomize, so don't do that until all are locked.
All right,
okay.
fine.
That's probably something we can change, but that's not a deal breaker.
No, for
but
sure.
That's definitely something
Just good to know.
we could change where we can random the draft order and then it can sit on the draft order until the final team is locked.
All right, looks like we are all full on that one. Should I switch it over, or should I just do it?
Yeah, they still have to get their teams in order.
Oh yeah. Start setting it up. Oh, Chris asked about my shirt earlier. Do you know what this is? Emil wouldn't. You might.
Is that?
Who knows?
Why does he look like Pedro Martinez?
Kind of.
It's not Fat Albert.
Nope.
It's kind of like that cartoon style Fat Albert, but I don't know what that is.
Somebody will get it.
Stanley. Oh, jeez. Why don't
Legend.
you want to drag over the back end and show them what that looks like?
Sure.
We can show them. You guys want to see what the back end looks like?
This is proprietary. Do they need to sign NDAs?
You might have to sign NDAs to see this. So.
Let's see.
There you go. So you can see what we see. We can actually see everybody on the back end and who has their spots locked in, and then countdown timers next to everybody else. So we can see who's still thinking, who's still working.
Mm-hmm.
One of CrossCheck's favorite extracurricular activities is seeing back ends. That's what he said.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why Brian doesn't have his lock. Just put Mets up to the top and call it a day.
He's trying to win some break credit.
So I got seven left to lock there.
So the spot to the right where it says enter collector, that's actually where we will enter the draft order once we've randomized it. So we can enter the draft order in there once everything is locked, and then the software itself does all of the assignment. So Davey said, is there a way to unlock locked teams if time's still available for mistakes? Not currently, but we are talking about possibly doing something like that in the future here. Well, still waiting on a couple of guys to lock them in.
Yeah, Brian's for sure gonna wait out the whole timer.
He's sitting there. He's hanging out over here in chat.
Should be drafting.
Seriously. Scroll up a little bit. You can show them the other things. So this is kind of what the back end. This is what a break looks like on the back end for us.
Yep.
You know, you can see how we can add the live video. You can see obviously the description that's in the break.
Mm-hmm.
You can see how this is how we add an incentive. You see the blue button that says incentive. That's how we can add random rebates, bonus prizes, skunk protection, all that kind of fun stuff. add the randomization link, all of that kind of fun stuff.
So when you guys are watching me do a random and you don't see it, and I'm trying to save links in here, I got to put the random.org link and then also a YouTube link so that people can watch the clip of me actually randomizing it.
Yeah, we've got nice features built in, so you can see the copy on the collectors list where you can click that button and copy the list of participants, so it's a direct copy over to random.org.
Yeah, I can show you that right now.
So
That's
boom,
not gonna
there you
change.
go. Yep. So there, you can see, one-click copy, getting that collector list over to random.org.
Yep, and then we just print off the list afterwards, and it has all your names paired up with the teams. Pretty nice. Somebody must have put a lot of work into building this.
Well, this is the part they never get to see, right? The back end, the engine that drives the whole thing, right?
Is there like a kangaroo court charge if you're the last one to?
I feel like there might be. I feel like
I think we can do negative credits.
negative credit. We can actually take credit out of Brian's account.
So, and then the next time he buys a team, he has to pay
Extra?
Yeah.
No, I like that idea. So right now it's down to JW and Team Brian.
It's a race.
Oh, Team Brian, negative break credit.
All right, so we'll randomize this break in 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
Because Brian refuses to play along. Lock your teams, Brian.
Says that's a feature, not a bug. So I guess if we do the draft order right now, it'll assign it based off of
yeah, we can actually forget Brian. We don't have to wait for him. We could just random it now, put it in the draft order, and then he's stuck with whatever order it's in right now.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, it doesn't have Guardians at 1. Is Tom dropping anything at 10?
It doesn't quite auto refresh for us on the back end.
Usually it does for your other brick formats, but
yeah,
just the timer's not.
The timer's not auto refreshing to a lock. There he
All right.
goes. Finally. All right. So you've already got it in random.org.
Nope. Put the YouTube link in. Gonna do the honors.
Dice roll 4 or higher.
It's been a while since you said that.
It is. There you go. Now you guys can see.
Final rounds.
Boom.
Pack fan.
GR8. Great pack fan with the #1 overall pick.
Here's the thing, though. In this format, when we're giving away the break credit, you actually want to have the last pick, don't you?
Yeah, I think the furthest down gives you the opportunity for the biggest differential, right?
Yeah.
So.
Save that link in there.
And now we can copy our list. Boom.
It is cool. It will just immediately show us.
Boom. Look at that. Look at how fast that is, guys. The draft order goes in and boom, out pops all of the teams.
Mm-hmm. Cassis never misses, so.
Oh, he's got a hit. You get the hit tracker. Right on. Well, should we bounce back over to the front end then?
All right. So what ended up being the biggest differential on this one?
Let's see. Put them in. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to sort by draft order. Yeah. So let's see how many people. Let's see how many people got their first choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at that. Oh, man, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. In the 27th spot, Oswalt's got their first choice of the Giants.
And he is a Giants fan, so that...
For the 26th overall spot, or 27th spot, got his first choice of teams. Boom, that's $50 right there. $50 break credit. And for, like, legit going after his favorite team, right? So, how was the experience that time? Now that you already, a lot of you already did it once this morning. Any other feedback on the experience of doing that?
I mean, besides the experience of Brian holding up the random.
Wow, Jake thinks it's ready for the real deal.
I mean,
all right, well, so
I think it's there.
how many people would be in if we ran a Series 1 break like that right now? How many spots? Yeah, we need to. I want it to be a quick fill, right? If we test it like unannounced like this, it needs to be a snap fill. So drop in the comments how many spots you would get. We'll do a Series 1, so it's a cheap random. What is it, like $59?
Yeah, it's
$59 Series 1 drafted team break would be the first one we've ever done. We'll take off the 1 spot max, so if you want a 3 spot, you could do that. Drop a number in chat. For how many spots you would maybe be in. If we can get enough spots.
Yeah, I think there's probably enough people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think
You think we can snap fill one?
we got a 3-spotter on Facebook.
3-spotter on Facebook, Jordan. Okay.
So Al says he's still having problems. He's on Safari browser on iPhone. I would say Al, if you don't have it already, I would download the
actual app from the App Store. It's gonna be a much better experience. Downloading the actual app from the App Store.
Yeah.
All of these future features that we're building. And this is for everybody. If you're still using mobile web on the phone, downloading the app from the App Store is going to benefit the most from every future feature development that we do. We're going to be doing the most QA checking, the most everything on the app experience. So I definitely recommend doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think? Should we try one? Should we call Tom? I think I saw Tom in chat. Let's give him a call.
What's happening?
What's going on?
I'm enjoying this so much more without Emil. I just got to tell you that.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you have a break. You have a basketball mixer dropping in 25 seconds.
Yeah.
But we were. Yeah, I mean, we were talking with these guys, and it sounds like they're interested in giving Series 1 drafted teams a try for the first time. So you're breaking right now. Do you want to queue one up to drop at 10:05?
Yeah, drop at 10:05, break at 10:20.
Well,
I guess it depends on Cassis. You let Cassis know how long he's going to hold stuff in his car.
right.
Cassis, when are you gonna rank your teams?
Yeah, right. I would say
That's $59. That's only $59, right?
Yeah.
$59. Yeah, and you've got all of the teams in there
Yeah.
with the PYT values for the combo teams and everything.
Just teased one.
What's that?
Oh, I just teased it.
You probably the break times probably should be like 11 or so, right? You know, because they'll have time to. We're still gonna do the Q&A here.
All right. 11. We'll rip it at 11.
Yeah, 11 o'clock break. 11 o'clock break time. So that'll give us time to wrap up the.
There we go. Yeah. We'll drop in 4 minutes.
Are we buying a spot?
Oh, basketball just dropped.
Basketball just dropped.
Yeah, you like that? A little $1 Prism, $4 of Court Kings?
I like that break. That's actually a really good break.
Someone said, I wish I could take credit. Someone gave me a suggestion Wednesday.
Yeah, that's actually a really good break.
Yeah, you know what? I figured one out.
So we're gonna watch this roll.
I'm excited to see. That was fun to see it on the back end that you were showing. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 minutes.
4 minutes to drop time. So
We didn't when we asked them if they would do it, we didn't tell them it was gonna be with Tom.
The problem is now nobody wants to do it anymore.
You committed. We're gonna tag you if you said one and you don't buy it.
I should have limited to one per person if it's with me.
Yeah.
30 people the option.
One other tip, guys, you don't have to press the team. Like, you don't have to press the team to move it.
Yeah.
It's not like a click and hold and then slide it up.
Yeah.
It's just a touch and slide, guys. So you know if you're pressing it and trying to hold it, that's not quite the right mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to really do is touch, just a normal touch and slide as you're ranking those. So
This sounds like a dance, the touch and slide.
the touch and slide. Should we make Titus do that right now?
We need Emil back.
Amel's the dancer.
It's a family-friendly show.
Amel's the dancer.
I know. Is he in Montana, right?
Yep, he took off last night for Montana for some snowboarding.
Do they even have an airport there? Or do you have to fly in somewhere else?
I don't. Do they have to?
Nice dinner.
Do they have to shoo the buffalo off of the runway?
They might have to.
Yeah, he said he's going into Billings, Eastern Montana.
Yep.
I love Montana.
Sleds.
Dog sled. You have to take a dog sled. He's gonna be there in 3 weeks.
Is there anything else going on in the hobby? Anything with grading you guys talking about today?
Right? A little bit big news, but I think everybody's gonna be leaving this video here shortly to go buy a team, so
Yeah.
we might not want to dig into that one quite yet until they're back.
1 minute. 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, so if you're interested in jumping in this impromptu series 1, you buy the team just like you buy a spot just like a random team break, and then once you've bought that spot, it'll prompt you to put the teams in order.
Mm-hmm. And somebody asked earlier, and I don't think we touched on it. For now, or at least for this drop, we are keeping the combo teams from the normal random.
Yes, and this is not going to be a break credit for highest differential, so
Yeah.
treat this one
Like
like,
an
you would
actual-
actually treat it. This is a real break. Pick the teams, move the teams that you want to chase so that we can kind of see like a real scenario.
Mm-hmm. So still a test, but it is an actual.
So here's the question: how many people do you think will get a rank higher, like get a team in a higher rank? Than
Yeah,
originally?
I mean, we don't know. It's all theoretical to this point, but
25.
yeah,
Because
I
even if
mean,
you're just moving up one spot because somebody else moved a team up ahead of you.
I think we're going to see that most of the spots are going to increase their differential in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe the top 5 teams don't.
Right,
Right, like,
that was my opinion.
So
This is the top five.
maybe the top 5 teams or the top 4 teams stay because those are the chase teams, and the PC teams don't pierce
Yeah.
the
top
the
five,
chase
yeah.
teams, right?
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's dropped. Let's see how it works.
Boom, 10 spots left.
9 spots left.
9 spots left.
See? I even busted out the heavy lumber J-Rod picture.
Nice.
So it looks like the drafted team, like the available options, are showing in pick your team order, but just without the pricing.
And so Tom's doing this on the back end for the first time. So Tom, you can see the countdown timers start for everybody, and then you can see the green lock icon when somebody's locked in a team or locked in their list.
Yeah, and so looking at it right now, there's 13 people that have checked out, but none have locked in.
Yep. Awesome.
Oh no, Team Brian 3-spotted it. So we got the whole 15 minutes of this.
And if you 3-spot, you only have to sort your order once, right? Because how many spots you have doesn't change
Yeah.
what your ideal draft order is.
I know we talked about this before, but like, let's say that Brian bought 1 spot and then goes back and buys 3 spots. Does that reopen his timer for all 4 spots? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Or does it just use the
I think it
ranking
uses.
that he already
I
bought
think
for
I think if you like, let's say you bought 1 and then you bought 1 and then you bought 1 individually.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it uses your
Right. 'Cause you're-
original ranking.
yeah,
we
no,
can
you just have 2
we
picks.
can confirm that. Maybe make a note if
So
we don't.
three spots are locked in. That's really cool.
Tim, we are a little bit behind on shipping because of all of these 6-case player breaks. So the 6-case player break is about an 18 to 20 hour sort and ship. So the Series 1 always puts us a little bit behind. This is the first time we've ever done player breaks for Series 1 where we ship all cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are a little bit behind on shipping right now. But we've got a new full-time person starting on Monday. We've been having a bunch of local collectors come in and help get us caught up. So we're not just status quo around here. We're bringing in the resources to
Yeah.
try and get caught up for you guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, that's similar to our end. We've been running about a 2 business day shipping, and right now we're at a 4.
yeah,
So and that's just with that. But we should get back next week to our normal 1 to 2.
Every day, I feel like there's been just a mountain of packages going out to
It's wild.
post office.
yeah, it's wild.
A lot of cards to ship out.
5 spots left in there.
Okay, so Brian said buying an additional spot after locking in does not open the draft order. So it uses your original draft order. That's actually a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we thought of that.
Genius.
And even more shocking news, Team Brian is already locked in.
Shocking.
He locked it in for science. 3 spots left.
3 spots left in that one.
I don't think it'll fill. Jordan was asking if the app is working for Android. Yes, it is live in both the App Store and
Google Play Store.
The Play Store.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yep, on both of them, you're going to want to be using the app versus the mobile browser. So every once in a while, we'll have somebody say, hey, I'm having issues like
Payment
using
processing.
PayPal checkout, and I'm on iPhone. And first thing is, are you using the app? And usually that is the issue, is that they're on Safari. So it's not like every time that the payment just doesn't work. It's just,
Yeah,
I feel like almost every time that somebody's having payment issues, that's what it is.
it's because of mobile web.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. So like I said before, the downloaded app experience is going to always be the best experience going forward. Aside from desktop, obviously desktop will work fine,
Yep.
but the downloaded app experience is going to always be a better experience than mobile web.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should clarify, because in the past we did have the ability for you to like download it from Safari.
Well, yes, essentially saving a bookmark.
Yeah, you're bookmarking it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so-
you want to use the actual downloaded one from the app.
From the
stores.
app store. Yeah, not the saved icon from mobile web. Yeah.
So it looks like we are full.
Sweet.
And we just have 8 people left to lock in their stuff.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
And we'll get to see it on the front end, what it looks like when he when he populates the list too.
You know we're gonna have something massive in this. Oh, let's just put up a break. Oh, 101.
Rigged.
And then so once we assign those teams, we'll get a little bit of feedback, or once Tom randoms the draft order, we'll get a little feedback from you again.
Yeah.
And then we've got a little bit of time to chat about industry stuff, answer any other questions. all those kinds
Yeah.
of things.
I'm interested to see how people move teams in an actual
In
setting.
an actual setting, like what did the differentials look like? How did people do?
Yeah.
Right? I think you're going to see, like I said, here's what I'm forecasting. And just based on, unless people are goofing around, but what I would expect is like the top 4-ish teams
Yeah.
are zero differential kind of a situation.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start to see, PC teams. And so you're going to have a team that goes up and has a decent differential.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a couple of teams that maybe are just like a +1 because
They're the same price.
they
but people
went
fuck-
up one spot. They went up one spot because somebody else moved a lower one ahead of them.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're going to see a PC team and then people that went up a little bit because a PC team went ahead of them. And so, but incrementally, I feel like we should see, at 25 of the spots with a positive differential.
I mean, I could see it just being Reds and Yankees that stay on. Like now, looking at the PYT.
Yeah,
pricing.
like maybe people are putting some teams above the Angels and the Rangers.
Yeah, or they just flipped them or something. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I said I would do.
Yeah.
I think Crosscheck is mad at you for ignoring his Series 2 hockey questions.
Oh, I think Series 2 hockey is delayed.
I think we're sold out.
Are we sold out? They cut our orders, so even our pre-orders we had to dial back.
Someone named Brian Holland bought all the cases.
Weird.
Ripped them.
Weird.
Is there anyone in Series 2?
I don't know.
I think Chicago has someone, but can't remember.
Ryan Sandberg?
Tim, if it hasn't shipped yet, can you pick it up? Send are you in the Facebook group, Tim? Send us a message and we'll see if we can track it down.
Yeah.
Depending on how long it was ago will depend on where it's at in the sorting, packaging, shipping process.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, you can send us a message through any of our socials.
Or once the store opens, you could just call and check.
Yeah. Yeah, you could call after noon and check once the store opens too if you wanted.
Yep.
How are we looking, Tom?
One left.
One left to lock.
I love Titus and Ryan.
Oh,
Jeez.
nice.
I
And
didn't
that's
even
the
notice
last one to lock.
Oh, you said I should probably lock my teams a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good, Kevin. Yeah, send us or send me a message and we can look into it more. That's weird.
So as soon as we get that last one locked, Tom, you have to refresh it sometimes because it won't auto switch to lock all the time.
So Al said he thinks he figured it out. Al, what was different, or what were you doing wrong before that was preventing you from?
Yeah,
moving
was
on?
there? What did you try something different?
Yeah.
One of the things I thought is maybe don't. I think some people are trying to click and drag, and you don't really have to click and drag. You just kind of have to touch and drag.
But I mean, that's part of doing this new format. Is it's just going to take a little bit of time for people to get used to the mechanics of it and the strategy and everything. So
Yeah.
it's exciting, but also a learning experience for
Yeah.
for everyone.
We're all locked in.
All right, so Tom, you can go ahead and go live then with your random. So essentially, it's the same as a random. Since this is the first time you've done this, you're basically just copying the list, random it in random.org like you would a random break, and then copy that final list into the back end, and that'll auto draft all of the teams.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stay on with you while I go live here.
Yep. And let's go ahead and open up the.
I got it up here.
Yeah, I want to see from the front end side.
Okay, so this is different on the free one. It was still showing these, like, remember we could still like.
Oh,
click on it,
maybe that's why.
but the actual
It was
one
because
just
it was a
shows-
$0.
Yeah.
It was a $0 checkout.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't like let us cart one, but
Right. Yep. So Tom is just setting up to go live with the draft order random.
yeah, Al, we're not that far behind on shipping. So if we need to look into a specific break, then you can
Just
message me.
yeah, just shoot us a message.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not 2 weeks behind on shipping. So if you have a break from that far back, then shoot us a message and touch base.
So I dropped the YouTube link in the back end for the randomization proof.
Yeah, it's the same. Yep, same as a random. Yeah, right now I think we're about a week out on shipping instead of 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know with like 5-star, we'd shipped those out just right away because they were such quick sorts.
yeah.
But
There,
now it's
Kevin
like-
said he didn't have any issues moving teams around. He was just deciding which teams he hate the most. So yeah, I mean that's actually a really good point too. Like I made this comment in the past. Like if you're a Cubs fan and you never ever want to get the Cardinals ever again, like if you put them at 30th, you're probably never going to get the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Like, we
won't.
can't guarantee it, but you can almost guarantee that somebody above you has had the Cardinals higher, right?
Anyway, everybody would have to move them down to the bottom. 80 would have to get the last pick.
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
every single
It's not
person
gonna
would
happen.
have to put Cardinals 30, and then you would have to get the last pick. So, yeah, I mean, you can literally exclude teams.
Yeah.
You can literally exclude teams from ever getting them again.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, we're live. If you're listening to me on this and Titus' other video, Titus and Ryan, good luck. So here we go. We got the random. You can see on my screen 28 spots. Terry Ryan fan on the first one. Double take on the last one. We're gonna random this like normal. 4 higher on the dice roll. 6. I hate it when you get 2 or 3 and you have to redo it. I hate it.
It's so difficult to click a button and roll one dice one more time.
One extra click.
There we go. Oh
Ev-
no.
all the-
Team Brian with the top 2.
All the people
Rigged.
all the people watching simultaneously on dual devices are having such a great audio experience right now.
So here you go. I dropped it in. Hit save. There we go.
Come on, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Oh, so it's interesting.
You might have to. Maybe you do have to refresh. Boom! There it is.
On
So-
the back end, it gives an alphabetical order of teams.
Yeah, you can do it.
Right.
Either.
I guess
You
you
can do
can
it
You
either.
can sort. Yeah, you can sort it. So the results then: Reds and Yankees, like we said, went top 2. Rangers got moved above the Angels, right? Because Angels were above the Rangers, even though they were the same price. The Angels were above because of alphabetical. So Hunter moved the Rangers on top of the Angels, and then Stan Breaks moved the Orioles, which were a $79 team, above the Angels, which were a $99 team.
Rather go for the rookies.
Which means that great Pac fan got a more valuable team.
Yeah.
He actually, in the 5th spot, got his 3rd choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if we can find some PC teams.
Pull this out so we can see the chats.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like Pirates here, moved them up.
right. Yeah.
Sick.
So Justin was able to move the Pirates up, and he got his 7th choice in the 13th spot.
I'm shocked how few people got their, like 19th got their 19th choice. That's really.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I think this is going to be the norm, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be the norm.
So there's still kind of sections where people, kept that block together.
But the the truth is these people all, no one did worse than a random team break, right? I think that's the important thing. No one did worse than a random team break. And one, two, how many people got their exact pick? Scroll up. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people. Yeah, so 6 people. I mean, the top 3, obviously. So 6 people didn't move up.
Yeah.
But they didn't do worse than a normal random. Right?
Yeah, so Brian said that he didn't get Mets, and they went down here.
What spot where's Brian's third spot?
Here. Where did you rank them, Brian?
Where did you rank the Mets?
Oswald still got the Guardians.
Yeah.
Hey, they were your 26th choice, though.
Right.
So yeah, with the combo teams, we'll show just the combined pick your team value of them. So that'll be kind of product dependent if we keep the combos or if we just do all 30 teams.
Brian says he thinks he put the Mets 5th, so we'll be able to tell on the back end in the database. So we'll check.
So the other unique thing with his too is that he did buy an extra spot.
You bought an extra spot, so Brian, you're the only person that bought an extra spot.
Yeah.
So
that'd be interesting to see if that reset it to the default or if that did anything to it.
Yeah.
That's probably not something that's been tested. So
yeah, that's probably the outlier scenario.
Could be user error.
It could be user error.
Did you do it on the Android or iPhone?
So Jake said it would be good to show your ranking. So in the break it would show the actual results, but then maybe below that show what your submitted or locked draft order was, just as like a fallback.
Yeah.
Or just for peace of mind to be like, oh yeah, because I think you're gonna have you could certainly have cases where people are like, man, I thought I put this team higher, but maybe they didn't.
Yeah, I just forgot.
And if they can see their original draft order, then obviously they would be able to go and be like, oh, maybe I didn't do that, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So how many did we end up having to actually move up? 1, 2, 3.
I think 21 people there were 9 that didn't. Right?
Yeah, so 19.
9 that didn't, but you're also the number 1 and number 2. I mean, they kind of don't count, right? Number 1, the first, second, and third picks kind of don't count because they're almost never moving up, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, 6 out of 28 people did essentially the same as they would have done in a random team break. 22 out of 28 people did better than they would have done.
Got the top team or did better than they would have normally done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Boom. So this is going to rip at 11, guys, in about 35 minutes. We are going to go ahead. I'll let you go. We'll finish up with a little bit of Q&A. We can have a little industry chat, and then we'll let the guys jump into your break.
Sounds good.
All right. Yep. Boom.
Now instead of complaining about Emil randoming you bad teams, you just get to complain about Emil randoming you in a bad draft spot.
Now I feel like all you complain about now is that you put the teams in a crappy order.
Yep, should have scouted better.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Any other experiences on this?
Yeah, the hard thing giving more than 15 minutes to draft is that, if it takes longer to fill, and then that last spot takes 45 minutes to rank their teams, then
Right.
you can't break for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
we still have to be able to stay on a breaking schedule.
Yeah.
So we can't give an infinite or a huge amount of time. I mean, Ticketmaster gives you 5 minutes to check out, right? Like, I think once people get used to the process and everything like that,
I mean, it's possible down the road that you don't lock it at 15 minutes and you have, like, if the break's still open, but for now that you're going to have the 15 minutes. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'd be that.
right. That's the other option, Jake. Some of it is just, schedule management on our side, knowing things are locked and ready to go. So.
Davey's asking, is drafted teams going to be in the title, or are all randoms going to be drafted?
We will put drafted just like Break Today says, Topps Series 1 number 23 pick your team, or Topps Series 1 number 23 random team. It will say Topps number 23 drafted teams.
Yep.
Right? So it will say drafted teams in the title as well as in the description of the break.
Yeah, and even if we don't do as many random teams, or just do less of them or none of them, we'll still have randoms that are, random divisions and random color, that type of stuff. So, we'll still be using those randoms for different stuff, random letter.
Yep. Bingo. Good. Well, it sounds like I hope you guys thought it was a good experience. I think this one went. I think I'm pleased with it. Doing a, like performing better than the initial beta. So
yeah.
Corbin Carroll, a random team break just randomly matches people to teams. So random team break just randomly matches you to teams, and the drafted team allows you to rank your preferred pick order on there. So kind of like a fantasy football draft.
Yeah, so you have a lot more influence on what teams you end up getting.
Yep.
So.
So, and the truth is depending on how this goes, like we've talked about, like we may see that the demand is that, for the collector demand is that we do almost all drafted teams because it's just going to be better than in a random. So, Jordan says he feels like he got worse teams than in a random.
Yeah.
That's actually not possible. It's not possible to get worse teams, but you are being randomed into a draft order, right? And so it's still possible to get the 26th pick or the 20th pick or the 30th pick. Like, that's still possible. It's equally possible that you can get a lower draft position, right, as you can get a lousy team. But in the drafted team break, you actually have the ability to get a better team than you would have otherwise gotten in that low pick. So,
yeah. So basically, Jordan just ended up his top pick in the draft order was number 10. So he just had like I don't know who's the worst in the NBA lottery. So you had a bad ping pong ball that came out.
You had the 10th pick, but you got your 9th choice.
Yeah.
So you did one spot better than if you had a random.
Yeah.
Go over here and see. So like if you scroll up to where the rays are there. Yeah.
I just noticed. I'm gonna make a note on here too that we don't have the random link isn't showing on here.
Oh, okay. Bingo. Any other thoughts or feedback? Yeah, I mean, if you don't touch the 25th through 30th teams, then if you get a 25th through 30th pick, you know, unless somebody else took one of those teams out of the bottom 5, that is what it is.
Yeah.
So it mathematically is not possible for you to do worse.
Yeah.
It's not possible for
It's
you to
just-
do worse than in a random team.
It's just different because, like, normally when we run a random team break and you see the random.org randomization, you know, it's just in a random order and you put it in and you hope that you get
Randomly paired with
somebody.
any decent
Now,
team.
if you're watching the random, you want to see yourself at the top of that random because you're actually randomizing the draft order, so you want to see yourself getting high draft picks, versus just waiting to see who you get paired up with.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we can open it up to any other questions. We got a little bit of time, left. So, you know, the big industry news we can chat about. Obviously, this week is the PSA acquisition of SGC, which is interesting. PSA, who has about 75% of the market, acquired SGC, who I think is number 3. I think they're technically behind CGC.
Yeah, just
Probably
doing more sports.
Probably more sports, but
Yeah.
smaller overall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think SGC was number 3 at 8% market share. So I think what the market share right now is like 75% PSA, 10% CGC, 8% SGC, and like
Beckett still
4% Beckett or something like that. Yeah. So interesting news with PSA acquiring SGC.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how surprising it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna see some more of that kind of stuff, some more acquisitions and things like that as we come out of COVID.
Yeah.
I think it's natural. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they keep the two brands separate or what they end up integrating. Like, does it make sense to keep the CGC brand and to combine facilities, or what ends up?
I mean, I think one thing that's key is now with the SGC facility on the East Coast,
Yeah.
now they've got grading facilities on both coasts,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think it does probably make sense at some stage to combine them into the PSA brand with grading centers on both coasts.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Brian likes his tuxedos though.
yeah, who knows? Yeah, we'll see. You know, I think there's still competition out there. I don't know that the FTC is gonna be concerned about monopoly. I mean,
if they already have 75%, is adding 7 or 8%.
yeah, they're going from 75% to 83%, and there's still competitors out there, including a bunch of small guys, you know, that really don't even make the list but are still out there. So I mean, there's other options for grading.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Brian, maybe they'll do a red tuxedo for you.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops. Obviously, we're a PSA authorized dealer, so if it means that they have more services available and things like that, then I look forward to doing more of that kind of stuff. But until then, we'll see what shakes out. So yeah. Another question here. Let's see.
Plans around Series 2 release.
Plans around Series 2 hockey release. We will have plenty of Series 2 hockey breaks. We will have plenty of Series 2 hockey in the store next week on release day. So there will be plenty of options.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Bedard chase is going to be a little bonkers. So if you are planning to chase Bedard or Blackhawks, It's gonna be expensive, but I mean his stuff is selling insanely right now,
Yeah, it's nuts.
and his O-Pee-Chee card hasn't gone down
Yeah.
in value. Obviously his short print from Series 1 is bonkers.
Yeah,
It's
that's
come
crazy.
it's
I
come
did
down
not-
a little.
I did not expect it to
I
be
didn't.
that big of a card.
No, I mean I think it's down like it's like a $6,000 card now. Down like come on, $6,000 PSA
yeah,
10 out of
flagship.
Series 1 hockey. That's just absurd.
And we hit them. It's not like it's
Impossible.
insanely
No, yeah, we
impossible to
absolutely
hit.
had people hit them in breaks
Yeah.
and in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious to see where that Young Guns settles out. What do you think a raw Bedard Young Guns settles in at?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see a couple hundred.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking it could settle as high as like 4.
That'd be nuts.
I mean,
1,200.
I mean, a Crosby is like $1,000 raw Young Guns.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way it gets that high. But still, I mean, just having
But could
a flagship Young Gun.
Could it be? Could it be like 600-800 out of the gates?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at like what Prism base Wemby's and like that type of stuff sells for even now. I mean, obviously we remember during COVID when Prism basketball stuff was crazy for base cards, but yeah, Young Guns are completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Interesting to see how that rolls.
Yeah.
And then interesting to see what wax prices do too, right? I mean, right now, boxes are pre-selling at $2.99.
Yeah.
They must be selling. So, I mean, generally, you know, David Adams and Steel City, they'll throw something out there at a price.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not selling, the price comes down.
Yeah. But
The fact it's been at $2.99 for months and months and months.
Yeah.
And so that to me that indicates that product is actually selling at that $2.99 price point.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quickly it dries up too. If everybody's ripping it, then you know there's gonna be not a lot of boxes out there.
Right. Right. Yeah. So Jay Dizzle Dog in the house. So Jay Dizzle brought in some cards for us to look at in the store yesterday. And we found kind of a cool card. It's a Jordan card. It's like a Jordan Fleer card from the like early 90s. And it looks just like a normal base card. But when we turned it over, we noticed the card number was a little goofy.
Yeah.
And it's actually a Tony's Pizza
That's cool.
version of that card, which like and it was rough shape, like it wasn't in good gradable condition.
Yeah.
But we looked it up, like a PSA 10 is a pop 4
Jeez.
on that card, and a PSA 9 is a pop 17.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like insane. There was only one PSA 10 on eBay, like 9K or best offer, which absolutely is not out of the world for low pop Jordans like that.
Yeah,
but
well, we know we had that huge collection of Jordan stuff that we helped consign and sell on eBay, and it's crazy.
right.
Some of just those random, like you would not think you
Random
you would
low
literally
pop,
think it's like a $5 card,
Yep.
but it's a PSA 10,
And
it's
the- yeah.
selling for $1,000.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. It was kind of a cool. Yeah, it's not even Tombstone or DiGiorno's. It's Tony's Pizza. It's not even a good pizza brand.
Pizza sounds pretty good.
Totino's. Yeah.
Party pizzas.
Totino's.
I grew up on those.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to have some Totino's just
Yeah.
for old times' sake
Yeah.
right now.
$1 pizza.
Yeah, seriously. We
I
don't have
know. Totino's went downhill though, and they went away from the round pizzas and they went to the square pizzas.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
Not the same. All right, let's talk about spring training a little bit. I know you're a spring training guy.
Yeah.
You like to go down, get in-person autographs, do
Yeah.
that kinds of things, and you stay up to speed on prospects and rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Any guys you think are going to make the roster out of spring training or have a shot at making the roster out of spring training?
I mean, I guess the one that everyone's gonna have their eyes on is Langford, right?
Yeah.
Because Langford's have kind of the most hype. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to watch. It is different because he's on such a good team. It's
Right.
like, you look at some of the guys on like the Rangers and the Orioles, it's like it's going to be really hard to make those teams, I feel like, just because they're so good already.
Yeah, speaking of Orioles,
Yeah.
where does that leave Jackson Holiday?
I mean, I don't know. He's struggled a little bit from what I've seen, and maybe he's picked it up in the last day or two. But
Well, he had a matchup against Paul Skeens yesterday.
throwing
Right?
102, wasn't he?
Woo.
So I don't know. I could see Holiday not making the team, and then it'll be interesting to see how they handle, just all these outfielders they have with Kierstead and Kauser, and be interesting to see who stays and who ends up getting traded.
Right.
Throughout the year, because you feel like they got to move these guys while they're still these super hyped prospects. It doesn't help them to keep them in AAA.
Bury him in the minors for 3 years behind somebody.
They don't get anything for them, so you're better off upgrading pitching or whatever they decide they want to do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, James Wood, definitely have seen some highlights of him. Spencer Jones, I can't believe what his cards are doing. So
Right.
definitely sold some Spencer Jones stuff too cheap this off season and end of last year. But yeah, he's been good. I've seen Roman Anthony stuff has popped off. Termar had that bomb the other day, and his stuff has been popping. So
Yeah, this is kind of the fun part of the
it's
season.
exciting. Yeah,
Like, this is fun when you start to see some of these prospects that start ripping.
yeah. It is funny this time of year though. Like people can get one at bat in a spring game and just hit like a 500-foot home run,
And their
stuff
card goes
It's
up
like-
3x.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're a $20 Bowman First auto,
Yeah.
and they get one at bat and hit a bomb, and it's 100.
It just shows you just need eyes on these guys. So anytime people get eyes on them, they get an opportunity to make an impression. So
Yeah. Rick Kane's in the house. What's happening, Rick? Over on YouTube.
watch out for the Twins this year, Yanks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, lots of big free agents.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe. Well, all right. Let's dive into this topic.
Okay.
Speaking of free agent signings,
Mhm.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, we were just talking about him the other day.
What's your thought on the whole Trevor Bauer situation?
I'm shocked that nobody signed him yet.
For a minimum contract with performance incentives.
I mean, we always know how much demand there is for pitching. I mean, having an opportunity to get somebody like that for league minimum. And I know he struggled a little bit overseas last year to start the year, but I think he ended up having a really good season.
He did, but he also had some behavioral issues over there in Japan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he kind of showed that, temperament-wise,
Yeah, I said that. One of my favorite Trevor Bauer clips of all time is when they went to take him out of the game and he threw the ball over center field fence. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
He turned and chucked it all the way over the fence.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I think it's, being that, like, cancer in the clubhouse type personality is probably holding teams back from signing him as much as his past public issues.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of players that have similar issues like that in the clubhouse that have teams. So I'm surprised that nobody's taken on a chance on somebody that could be that good of a pitcher for him. So
Right. Yeah, interesting. What other questions you guys have? Anything else? We're kind of coming to the end of the time here, so we'll probably grab one or two more questions or topics of conversation, and then Tom's going to be doing the first ever drafted teams break here in about 15 minutes. So
is Miranda back? The problem is I don't know that there's a spot for him anymore. The Twins have so many infielders, so especially if they're trying to get Brooks Lee up and bringing in Santana if he's going to play first at all, and that pushes Julian to different spots. So
Yep.
I don't know. Oh yeah, Series 1 issue with the
Oh yeah, so Topps really promoted this hard, like first card logo for the first ones printed in Series 1, and then they forgot to put the foil stamp on the front of the card, so it looks like a base card and is stamped 1 of 1 on the back.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I just think it's funny. Like nobody expected it. It was kind of like last minute. Like I feel like it was a couple of days before release. It's like, oh, like look for this new big card that we put in Series 1, and they teased it like after the product had probably already shipped out even.
Yeah.
And then it's not in there. They almost would have been better off just saying that there's a new 101 parallel and not saying that it was first card if they knew.
Right. Yeah, and I really hope they get this kind of stuff sorted out, because it does feel like release after release
It's
after release after
frustrating.
release there's something, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is I don't know that it takes away from the value of the product,
No.
but it's just kind of a letdown. Like psychologically it's just kind of a bummer and a letdown.
Yeah.
And I mean, they need to be able to execute on this kind of stuff.
For sure.
On every product.
Yep.
So hopefully we start to see some improvement on these kinds of things. And I know that Fanatics has really been investing in improving a lot of different aspects of the business from the old Tops mentality, right? They recently hired a truckload of people for customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're crushing it right now on damaged card replacements and missing hit replacement. They're actually executing really well on that stuff, but we need to see that translate into quality control on some of these.
Releases. Yeah, it's just, I mean, coming off of last year with like the Bowman Chrome Superfractors and stuff, it's like, hey, get the 101s right. Come on, guys.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it also, this 101 thing shines light on breaks a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of breakers that don't ship base cards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the reality. I mean, one of the reasons we're a little behind on shipping is because we've done 150 cases of Series 1 and we ship all the base cards and we sort all the base cards. And so instead of shipping in 2 to 3 days, we're about a week out right now, and scrambling and working hard and bringing in resources to try and get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
But for a situation like this where the card looks like a base card, I don't think that people who don't ship base are checking the back of every base card for a 1 of 1.
There's no way. Because, I mean, it's what, a 3-hour sort for a case of paper?
That's why people don't do it. It's a 3 hours, 2 to 3 hour sort for a case of paper. Our 6-case random player breaks are an 18 to 20 hour sort, right? So, there's no way that the people who aren't shipping base cards are checking for 1 of 1s. And the truth is nobody even knew about it for the first week or two of release. And so that's a lot of base cards that didn't get shipped, and hopefully there's not too many 1 of 1s hiding in those base.
Mm-hmm.
But because we ship everything, even if we don't spot it in a break, even if we don't spot the card in a break, you're going to get it. So I think it's fair to tell these guys to check their base cards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And
would have got it. Yeah.
we probably would miss it because it just looks like a base card.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably worth scanning your base cards, the back of them, to see if any of them are stamped 101.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think about too, like the rumor is that the Soto and Otani super short print cards are in the base. They're not
in the base. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in the insert spot or the parallel spot in the packs. So especially breakers that aren't shipping paper would be missing those.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that's the Dodgers Otani super short print and the Yankees Soto super short print are also cards that could easily be missed by breakers who aren't shipping base. Yeah. So but that's kind of the biggest drama for the week is the 101s and the PSA and that. But other than that, we're gearing up for the spring. We're having fun watching all of the spring baseball.
It's just so nice, during day shifts while you're breaking, to have a game on. That's one of my favorite things about baseball. It's just you get the whole season, and every afternoon pretty much you can watch a game.
He's supposed to be working.
While you're working.
He's supposed to be. How many of you guys are watching breaks and a baseball game while you're working?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me and my dad always split MLB TV because he loves to just have a game on throughout the day while he's working, even if it's just like the radio broadcast or something.
Right.
It's just something about having that game on.
Yeah.
That's why we love it so much.
Right on. Well, I think that probably wraps up our time. I don't see a whole lot of extra questions at this point. But I appreciate all you guys coming in, helping us test out this drafted teams feature.
Yeah.
We may, I mean, I think this the live one that we did with Tom went over pretty well.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to pivot over and start doing a million of these because there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe we circle back tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like Series 1 is a good one to
Series
do.
1 is because it's low pressure.
There's an upside on the rookie teams, but people also really want their PC teams in
Yeah.
Series 1. So
Yeah, so maybe what we'll do is we'll do a Minnesota 1 Saturday night.
Okay.
We'll work a Minnesota 1 Series 1 drafted team break into Saturday night. So keep an eye out for that. Tom's got a bunch of stuff posted now, and then he's got an evening shift dropping also. Appreciate all you guys a ton. We're building these features for you to give you a better experience. I hope you like them, and keep giving us good ideas. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
thanks, everyone.